Venice and Venus, the most romantic city in the world, by Dave Einhorn. A young couple hits the streets in Venice, the city often described as the most romantic in the world. After a $30 cocktail, they hail one of the 400 remaining gondolas. The standard fare for such a tour is in the range of $250 Canadian per hour. The gondola is an expensive ride, man. Kinda like love and marriage. The gondolier steers them beneath the Bridge of Sighs. Legend holds that if a couple kisses as their gondola passes under the bridge at sunset, just as the bells of St. Mark's toll, then their love will last forever. That's what the legend says. What history tells us is that the prisoners were led across that bridge to be taken to their cells, many of them never to see daylight again. Those sighs were not about romance, but instead the loss of love, freedom, dignity, quality of life. Is that also a kind of love and marriage? In addition to lifetimes imprisoned in darkness, Venice is also about death and eternal punishment. The Inquisition is part of Venice's history, although local authorities limited its power somewhat in comparison to other locations. Those limitations resulted in a lower number of executions than had carried out in other regions, but the standard sentence was death by drowning in the Adriatic. The convicted would rowed out into open water and dropped into the sea, with a stone weighing him down while a priest prayed for his immortal soul. The meeting place of the Venetian Holy Inquisition was the Church of St. Mark, the bells of which are today said to be that harbinger of everlasting love for our young couple who have shelled out the cash for a gondola tour and are now passing under the Bridge of Sighs, the bridge that once led to lifelong imprisonment in darkness. The city's past also includes the loss of 1/3 of its population during the plague and a quarantine island, Lazaretto Vecchio, rife with mass graves, as well as stories of witchcraft, possession, and being both the perpetrator and target of invasions. One currently finds sewage smells during the summer months, huge cruise ships arriving, the sheer weight of which can jeopardize the city's historic structures, and one ends up walking shoulder to shoulder with gawking tourists from those ships who frequent and support commercial rather than local and historic interests. The gondola tour sees someone else steering your course through the crowds as they grab very expensive mementos. That is kind of like love and marriage, some would say. The most romantic city in the world? Katharine Hepburn lived the entire second half of her 96-year life with an eye infection she contracted while filming a movie scene in which her character fell into one of Venice's dirty canals. The possible metaphors for love and clarity of vision that incident generates are almost endless. Perhaps Shakespeare said it best in The Merchant of Venice. But love is blind, and lovers cannot see the pretty follies that they themselves commit.